Right, guys. Now, in the last video, what I did was I taught you through what you needed to be talking about in the yellow middle column. So, in other words, what will happen to each of these different factors when we are in economic boom? All you will need to do is to put a very small paragraph about each of these different factors into your assignment brief. What I want to do in this last video linked to the boom is to talk you through what this will mean for Sainsbury's. So I'm now thinking about the last column. Now what I'm not going to do is to give you a specific thing to include in each of these different boxes, but I'm hopefully going to give you lots and lots of different ideas of things that you can talk about to stick in this final column. So how these will impact on Sainsbury's. So in terms of GDP and incomes, due to growing GDP in a boom and growing incomes, it could mean that Sainsbury's have got to be thinking about demand and supply. So in an economic boom, there'll be more and more people demanding more and more products from Sainsbury's. Now this might mean that Sainsbury's have got to change the way they supply their products. They might have to expand existing stores so they can get more customers through the doors and keep them happy. They might need to look at expanding their online delivery service. They might literally need to go and build more stores across the economy. But then on top of that, if they've got more customers buying their products, they might need to look at expanding the number of supplies they can access. So talking to more farmers and different manufacturers of companies like baked beans, etc., so that these guys can keep up with the growing demand for Sainsbury's customers. And on top of that, because in a boom it's more and more difficult to get hold of good workers, it might mean that Sainsbury's in a boom might find it more difficult to keep hold of good staff. Good staff might be getting poached to go and work in rival supermarket chains. So Sainsbury's might need to increase their wage rates to keep all their different staff happy and working at Sainsbury's. Now, if they can't find new staff to go into all their expanding stores, it could also mean that Sainsbury's might need to promote staff from within. So they might need to, if they need new managers, promote more staff from the shop floor to become managers. It could also mean that Sainsbury's have got to move towards more machinery to expand their use of things like online shopping. They might also need to be looking at more self-scan checkouts in supermarkets to reduce their need for staff. Now, because they're going to be finding it more difficult to get hold of good staff, it might mean that more of their staff need more extensive training when they're recruited. So they might find the need to offer more extensive training packages to keep hold and keep these staff well trained in the business. Now, inflation, due to high inflation, it could mean that Sainsbury's have got to raise their prices to keep up with growing demand. And the reason for this is because their staff are now probably costing them more money, and because suppliers are demanding higher prices for the products that Sainsbury's sell, it might mean that Sainsbury's need to raise their prices to keep customers happy. Now, if I'm moving on through these different lists, it could also mean that Sainsbury's might need to respond by changing what products they sell in store. Due to the growing demand for luxury products, it could mean that Sainsbury's have got to expand their electronics section, bigger, better TVs to be sold in store. They might need to change their clothing range to be more luxurious and move away from lower priced items. They might start to expand their luxurious food product ranges. So move away from the cheap home brand products to more luxurious items to be sold in store. So guys, hopefully what that has done is given you lots of different ideas of things that you can include in this section, how these will impact on Sainsbury's.